Simojifanya ni washindani. Ngoja siku ifike.
Mimi ni paka mwitu, nitakupa pura.
Ni usiku sasa, matatizo kuna nini?
Mtume! Nilikwambia wacha kuzungumza na mwanamke. She has no respect. Coming to my party. Wacha kunipiga? Nipige.
Kuwa makini sana ule mke wako. La usivyo tukugharimu.
Mamako mwenyewe. Wewe usiniudhi. Sawa? Wewe ulimwona mamangu?
Huwezi kunisaidia? Nenda zako.
To you too. Cheers.
...2021 is in the offing, and KBC Channel 1 comes with good tidings for the new year. As we appreciate you and decide to put a big smile on your face with a New Year's gift. To participate, answer a simple question and send a short message as many times as possible. And you stand a chance to win 10,000 Kenya shillings as we usher in the new year. Send us the list of programs that air between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday on KBC Channel 1. Send a short message to 0771 702 816 as many times as possible to stand a chance to win. Happy New Year from KBC Channel 1.
Well, happy holidays. Indeed, it's a pleasure to have you join us on Channel 1 News Hour. Here is what's coming up.
Change of guard. Amos Nyaribo sworn in as Nyamira governor as race for Nairobi governor heats up. A chaotic recruitment. Chaos erupts at the Maasai Girls in Narok County during a recruitment drive for intern teachers. And below the 5% mark. COVID-19 infection rate holds below the 5% mark for the third day in a row as WHO calls for close monitoring of new coronavirus strain.
Welcome back. Susan Duku is our sign language interpreter tonight, and my name is Catherine Achieng'a. Remember, you can also follow us live on Facebook, KBC Channel 1 TV. We are also live on Twitter as well as on YouTube. Leave us a brief comment. I will be glad to sample some of your comments at the tail end of this live newscast. But first, let's focus on what's making headlines tonight. Now, Nyamira Deputy Governor Amos Nyaribo has been sworn in as the governor to replace the late John Nyagarama. Nyaribo was elected alongside Nyagarama in the 2013 polls and had held the position of deputy for 8 years before the demise of Nyagarama. Amos Nyaribo becomes the second governor of Nyamira and the fourth deputy to assume office following the death of 4 governors since the advent of devolution. Gladys Mungai starts off our coverage tonight with that story.
Nyamira Deputy Governor Amos Nyaribo was on Tuesday sworn in.
I will do justice to all in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of Kenya.
Succeeding the late Governor John Nyagarama, who passed on 2 weeks ago while receiving treatment at a Nairobi hospital. During the swearing-in ceremony at the Nyamira primary, the governor pledged to look into issues that have bedeviled the county.
My government will employ strategies aimed at fighting corruption so as to make Nyamira a true corrupt-free zone. We will be zero tolerance to corruption. At the moment, the wage bill of Nyamira is 60%, compared to what is allowed by the law, 35%. It's a challenge because at the moment we have broken the law. It's a challenge which will make us all leaders sit down and see how to tackle it.
Leaders led by Devolution CS Eugene Malwa and Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya urged Nyaribo to ensure he fulfills the promises that he and his departed boss made to the residents of Nyamira.
Governor, vile unajua mimi nitafanya bidii vile nimefanya hapo before kuhakikisha kwamba pesa ya kutosha imefika katika kaunti ya Nyamira. Lakini maombi yangu kama senator ni kwamba pesa ikifika, tafadhali Your Excellency sir, hiyo pesa saidia wananchi hao ambao wametuchagua.
That working closely where there are issues that are not clear. I've been a governor for 8 years. Just call me. We'll support each other. Nobody has a monopoly on knowledge.
As you are aware, the Council of Governors comprises of the governors of the 47 counties, and the main functions include promotion of visionary leadership. Take that in your mind. Promoting visionary leadership, sharing of best practices, offering a collective voice on policy issues.
Wakati tulikuwa hapa kusherekea Mashujaa Day pale Kisii, Gavana Nyagarama alikuwa amekaa na viongozi wa Nyamira, walikuwa wameunda memorandum, sababu leo officially umeingia kwenye ofisi, umeingia kwenye viatu vya Nyagarama. Tunaomba ya kwamba ile memorandum ya ile miradi na mipango Nyagarama alikuwa nayo, wewe umeapishwa sasa, you officially the governor of this great county. Tafuta hiyo memorandum, alafu uje tukae na Mheshimiwa Rais tukupe all the support ile Nyagarama alikuwa ameuliza kwa niaba ya watu wa Nyamira.
Meanwhile, the electoral body IEBC has slated Machakos senatorial by-election for March 23rd, 2021. In a Gazette notice published on Monday, IEBC directed candidates seeking to contest in the mini-poll to present their nomination papers by January 26, 2021, with campaigns set for January 26th to March 20th. The Machakos senatorial seat became vacant following the death of Senator Boniface Kabaka. Meanwhile, the People's Empowerment Party has announced that former Nairobi Town Clerk Philip Kisia is now a bona fide member of the party. Kisia is among several aspirants who have expressed interest in the Nairobi gubernatorial seat set for February 2021. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mongai.
And now the World Health Organization is warning the world will have to learn to live with COVID-19 despite talk of a vaccine. At the same time, WHO is calling on countries to ramp up their testing capacity to ensure detection of new cases and new variants. This coming as the number of COVID-19 new infections in Kenya remained below the 5% positivity rate for the third day in a row.
The country for the third day running has recorded a positivity rate of below 5%, although the number of new infections jumped to a 3-digit figure, having held at below the 100 mark for 2 days in a row. Out of the 3,043 samples tested Tuesday, 147 came back positive, translating to a 4.8% positivity rate. The new figures pushing the total caseload to 96,139. Of the new infections, Nairobi had 47 cases, Mombasa 27, Makueni 14, Nakuru and Murang'a 12 each, Busia 10, Kiambu 5, while Kirinyaga and Kisii each had 3 cases. The number of recoveries now stands at 77,659, following the recovery of 138 patients. 126 were under home care management, while 12 were from various health facilities. Currently, 670 patients are still admitted in hospital and 3,368 under home care isolation. Out of those in hospital, 31 are in the intensive care unit and 2 in the high dependency unit. The number of fatalities resulting from the disease rose to 1,665 after 1 more patient died. This coming as the World Health Organization has warned that the destiny of the virus is to become endemic despite the rollout of a vaccine in the US and UK. Professor David Heyman, the chair of the World Health Organization Strategic and Technical Advisory Group for Infectious Hazards, says the concept of herd immunity had been misunderstood and that SARS-CoV-2 would be endemic, as have 4 other human coronaviruses, and that it would continue to mutate as it reproduces in human cells, especially in areas of more intense admissions.
And no matter what we've done to date, it will continue to spread, despite vaccines, despite therapeutics, despite diagnostic tests. We have to learn to live with this and use the tools that we can in the best way possible.
The WHO further saying it will ensure equitable distribution of the new vaccines being developed, even as it called for more testing to detect new variants.
There will be setbacks and new challenges in the year ahead. For example, new variants of COVID-19 and helping people who are tired of the pandemic continue to combat it. At present, we're working closely with scientists all over the world to better understand any and all changes to the virus and how these changes affect its ability to spread or make people sick, or any potential impact on available tests, treatments, and vaccines.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
And now debate is rife over the state of preparedness by government to reopen schools with less than 1 week left to the start of the school term. Chief Administrative Secretary for Education Zach Kinuthia maintains the government is ready to accommodate learners, even as a section of MPs have expressed their reservations on the state of preparedness. Caroline Kamau with details of the raging debate.
The government says it is set for the 4th of January school reopening date after 9 months of disruption occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic. Education CS Zach Kinuthia maintains there's no turning back and learners will resume classes on Monday. Kinuthia said the delivery of lockers and desks in public primary and secondary schools was in top gear to ensure learners maintain social distancing when the schools reopen. However, Naivasha MP Jane Kihara has faulted the state of preparedness by government, saying they have done little to increase the number of classrooms, provide masks and ensure constant running water. In Narok, education stakeholders are worried over the increase in teenage pregnancies ahead of schools reopening in January. They're now calling on the local administration and other government agencies to intervene and ensure all girls who are pregnant resume learning.
I still want to ask the parents to be on watch, to be on look, to make sure that until our girls go back to school, their mothers especially are monitoring their daughters, to make sure that we don't have other new cases of teenage pregnancies.
In Trans Nzoia, education stakeholders are calling on the government and well-wishers to support schools that are facing a challenge in implementing the COVID-19 safety protocols. The call coming after it emerged that several schools are ill-prepared, with just a few days left before they reopen.
I would love to urge well-wishers to bring protective equipment, masks, sanitizers, and any other equipment or material that could aid them navigate this difficult time.
In Mombasa, the Catholic Church has called on parents to support the government in ensuring a smooth reopening of schools by providing masks for their children. The clergy has, however, called for vigilance among Kenyans, noting the coronavirus is still actively within the community.
Tusipotilia mkazo jambo hili kama tunavyoelekezwa, I think tutaweza kukwama. Tuweze kujichunga sana, hasa mwaka mpya unapokuja, tunapoambiana Merry Christmas, let's all remember and Happy New Year. Mr. Corona naye anasema na wewe uko wapi bwana nikushike. So we are saying Corona has not gone on holiday.
Caroline Kamau reporting for Channel 1 News.
Now, chaos erupted at Maasai Girls School in Narok County during a recruitment drive for intern teachers. A group of youth stormed the institution demanding that the internship slots be given to local applicants. Police were forced to lob tear gas canisters to disperse the irate crowd.
Maasai Girls School in Narok County, what was meant to be the recruitment of intern teachers degenerated into chaos after locals stormed the venue demanding opportunities for area residents. Hundreds of youth drawn from different parts of the country who had turned up seeking recruitment as intern teachers were caught up in the melee, forcing some to flee to safety.
Hapa kitu saa 2 asubuhi tuliandikisha majina, baadaye tukaenda tukakusanyika kwa uwanja, lakini baada ya muda vijana wakatokea wengi na wakisema kwamba kama wewe ni si mkazi wa Narok ama wewe si mtu unayekaa Narok uondoke kwa gate kabla dakika 5 kuisha.
It took the swift action by police officers who lobbed tear gas canisters to disperse the charged crowd. Narok County Commissioner Ivan Sachoki, in condemning the incident, said investigations are underway and the ringleaders of the illegal march shall be brought to book.
Not encourage wananchi ama viongozi kuchukua sheria kwa mkononi mwao. Kama kuna jambo lolote, waende waengage na ofisi. Lakini sio kuzuia exercise kubwa kama hiyo ambayo tunahitaji walimu. Shule zikifunguliwa, nani ataenda kufundisha hao watoto?
Sentiments echoed by Maasai elders who urged the youth to embrace fair competition for job opportunities.
Hao watoto hawana nia mbaya, wamemaliza shule, wako na makaratasi yao ya kuonyesha kwamba wamehitimu na wanataka kazi. So hiyo kupitia County Commissioner wa Narok, kupitia Regional Commissioner wa Rift Valley, mpaka ifikie Mheshimiwa Rais wa Kenya.
Raise questions kuhusiana na recruitment ya watoto katika wilaya ya Narok. Tunasema kwamba tuliambia TSC kwamba ile marking scheme ambayo wameleta kutoka Nairobi ina dhulumu watu wa Narok na watu wa sehemu ambazo ni minorities.
The exercise had to be postponed to a later date to avert more chaos. For Channel 1 News, I'm Safin Achieng'a.
Quite unfortunate since they are in Narok County. On that note, it's time for Channel 1 News Hour to take a short break. But indeed, remember, we are live on Facebook. I can see comments from Nath Shigantia, James Ndegwa, Jen Muigai, Boni Waze, all telling us where you're watching us from. Indeed, keep them coming. I will be glad to sample some of your comments and also just to let us know where you're watching us from and what you think of some of our stories. But for now, we take that short break. We will be back in just a bit.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Enjoy the magic of Christmas with Coca-Cola.
Simujifanya ni washindani. Ngoja usiku ifike.
Mimi ni paka mwitu, nitakupa pura.
Ni usiku sasa, matatizo kuna nini?
Mtume! Nilikwambia wacha kuzungumza na mwanamke. She has no respect. Coming to my party. Wacha kunipiga? Nipige.
Kuwa makini sana ule mke wako. na usivyo tukugharimu.
Mamako mwenyewe. Wewe usiniudhi. Sawa, wewe ulimwona mamangu?
Huwezi kunisaidia. Nenda zako. To you too. Cheers.
Welcome back. If you're joining us, this is Channel 1 News Hour. Let's now focus on other stories as well, and we shift focus to Kiambu County, where police have launched investigations into the death of a taxi driver in Kingero area of Kabete. Detectives are looking for a tenant who is believed to have been with the deceased hours before his body was discovered in a house in the area. Elsewhere, 2 residents of Lamu are crying for justice after they were allegedly tortured by Kenya Defence Forces officers over suspected links to the Al-Shabaab militia.
Police in Kabete are looking for a man believed to have come into contact with a taxi driver whose body was found in a house in Kingero area. The deceased is reported to have driven the tenant to the house. Neighbors allege that the man may have attempted to steal from the deceased.
Walikuja wakamuweka kwa buti. Gari kugurumishwa, inaigurumisha inazima. Sasa hawa neighbors wakaanza kuona ni hazard zinapiga. Gari kakata kabisa kuguru. Sasa walimtoa, wakamuingiza kwa nyumba, wakamuweka kwa bathroom. Na wakatoro. Sasa sisi kuamuka, tulikuta mambo imeshafanyika, tukamkuta kwa.
Tumeanza uchunguzi. Tunataka tupate yule mtu alikuwa anaishi kwa hiyo nyumba, sababu tumeambiwa amekaa hapo kama miezi 3 iliyopita. Ndio aweze kutupatia yeye anajua kitu gani kuhusiana na hii mwili ambayo tumepata katika nyumba yake.
Meanwhile, 2 men from Lamu are demanding justice after they were allegedly tortured by officers from the Kenya Defence Forces over suspected links to the Al-Shabaab. A Mombasa right lobby group says James Waweru and Eliud Kiari are nursing serious injuries inflicted last week by the soldiers who used nails and axes when they detained them for close to 7 hours.
Tulikuwa tumefungwa. Sababu alipotushika tu kwanza kutupiga kidogo wakatufunga macho. Sasa hata wakitupiga sisi tutatuwaona. Lakini kuna wao ambao pale mwanzo ile vita ya kwanza wenye walitupiga mimi naweza nikawajua.
IPOA should intervene haraka iwezekanavyo. Wote waliohusika, waliovunja sheria lazima wafikishwe kizimbani. Nobody is above the law.
A Kisii businessman is demanding justice after his driver was allegedly attacked and his truck towed by an irate mob in Kuria, Migori County. Arnold Clement says he was attacked after he unknowingly ran over a boy who had allegedly hung on to his lorry.
Mwenye alikuwa na chuma ndiye alikuwa ananichapa mgongo, akaniingiza mikono kwa mfuko, akanitoa vitu zilikuwa kwa mfuko, kuna pesa ilikuwa kwa mfuko, simu moja ilikuwa kwa mfuko moja, simu nyingine ilikuwa kwa gari. Sasa kunichapa walikuwa wananichapa na kuna moja alikuwa na chuma.
Sasa huyo driver yangu anaendelea kusumbuka vile mmeona. Hana mahali pa kutoa pesa. Mimi ndio nilikuwa nampatia pesa kutoka kwa gari.
Elsewhere, Turkana Central Member of Parliament John Lodebe has decried the increased cases of insecurity in parts of Turkana County. The lawmaker is calling on the security apparatus to bring sanity in the region, urging the police not to relent in dealing with the perpetrators of violence in the region.
Insecurity ni mbaya. Tunakutana watu wengi mahali pale, wengine wanafanya vituko, wengine wanafuta kitu kubwa. Sasa mtoto wako akienda kule lazima aende na mtu mzima. Usiache mtoto peke yake aende. Na pia tuchunge watoto kwa sababu kuna watu pia mahali pale wanadanganyia watoto pombe, mtoto analewa na wanamfanyia mtoto madhara mabaya.
Timothy Kipnusu for Channel 1 News.
And now Reverend Father Wilbard Lago is the new Malindi Archdiocese Bishop following his appointment by Pope Francis. Prior to his appointment, he served in the Mombasa Archdiocese for 12 years as the Vicar General and head of the Secretariat. Bishop-elect Wilbard, in responding to his appointment, said he is looking forward to his new role and hopes to bring change to the community. His appointment as the third bishop was well received among Catholic faithful, including priests and archbishops. According to Mombasa Archbishop Martin Kivuva, they have have a 3-month window to decide on when to have the ordination and handing over ceremony.
Ninazidi kuomba Wakristo na Wakenya wote waniombee ili ninapoanza kazi hii ambao Baba Mtakatifu amenituma niifanye Malindi, nifanye kulingana na mapenzi ya Mungu, nifanye kwa bidii, nifanye kwa utaalamu, nifanye kwa ushirikiano na viongozi wa dini zote na waumini wote bila kubagua dini au tabaka ya mtu.
Kwa hivyo nao miezi mitatu, jana ilikuwa tarehe 28. Kwa hivyo mpaka mwezi wa 3 tarehe 28 miezi mitatu itakuwa imeisha. Kwa hivyo hapo katikati wale wa Malindi na sisi tukishauriana tumeona kwamba tutambue siku moja na itatajulikana karibuni labda, alafu tutawahabarisheni kwa pamoja, lakini it's within those 3 months.
And now a woman in Machakos is accusing an insurance company of failing to compensate her despite a court order. The mother of 9 lost both her arms, which were amputated to save her life following a road accident.
Life has been unbearable for Helen Mweni Mwathi, a mother of 9 in Yatta area of Machakos County. She has been forced to depend on her son and granddaughter since 2001 when she was involved in a road accident along the Thika Garissa highway. Following the accident, her hands were amputated, a situation that made it difficult for her to earn a living as she could not continue with her tailoring job.
Pelekwa theater, nikaonekana mpupa imepasuka na damu ikaingia kwa kichwa. Sasa hapo Kenyatta nililala miezi 3. Sasa ndio nikatoka, hata nilitoka kabla sijapona vidonda ya mikono. Sasa ndio hapo nikaanza kutipiwa nikiwa kwa nyumba. Nilitipiwa kama miaka 2 hivi 3 kama hii.
Her woes have been worsened as she has been in and out of court seeking compensation from an insurance company. Despite a ruling being issued in 2018 in her favor, ordering she be compensated by the insurance company, she is yet to receive a single penny.
Mkubwa wao ananiambia watanilipa, lakini hakuna kitu nimeshaona wameshanipea kutoka wazazi. Anahangaika na mimi mgonjwa. Saa yote naendanga na ugonjwa wangu. Saa nyingine naenda huko kwa wakili, nikashindiwa na ugonjwa, mimi nalala huko kwa ofisi. Sasa ndio nikaamua nikuje nione kama nitasaidika kwa jua watu wamenishinda.
John Matingi, her son, says he was forced to drop out of school in class 6 to take care of his mother.
Nilikaa miaka 2 bila kwenda shule na baadaye nikakuja nikajoin shule nikaanza na masomo. Kama mimi kufikia hapo ndipoza nimalize masomo, nimekuwa na changamoto mingi sana juu mimi mwenyewe ni kama mimi ndio nimejilea. Manake kama mzazi angekuwa pale angetuhudumia.
Things are no different for her granddaughter Irene Mweni, who says the situation at home has seen her abandon her social life.
Sometimes ningekosa kwenda shule, maybe nimpeleke hosi kama ni mgonjwa ama kama ameitwa na wakili, nakosa kwenda shule ndio nimpeleke Nairobi kwa sababu hizi travel peke yake. Actually nilianza kumosha nikiwa mdogo, nilikuwa na kanyaga stool ndio upate namfikia nimoshe.
The family hopes that the insurance company in question will keep its end of the bargain and pay them what is due to turn a new leaf. Meanwhile, across the coastal town of Malindi, a physically challenged woman whose leg was amputated last year after developing complications has received a wheelchair from a well-wisher. Josephine Mweni, a mother of 4, could not hide her joy following the gesture.
Nimepakatwa mkuu, nimelaswa hapo, nimetoka na 65,000 nikafanya kuchangiwa hizo pesa. Nikaenda kwa nyumba, nilikuwa nimepewa nyumba na mzee mwingine, hiyo nyumba ndio naishi.
She's been sick for quite some time. Her leg had to be amputated. So she had issues with walking around. So we decided to come back with a donation of a wheelchair to close the year with her and to give her as a present, as a Christmas present.
Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
And now veteran Kenya Broadcasting Corporation journalist Beatrice Kevogo has been laid to rest in an emotional send-off at her home in Maliki, Bungoma County. The religious radio program's producer passed away in a road accident on the 14th of December. Details of this in our county news briefs.
Friends, family and colleagues of KBC journalist Beatrice Kevogo gathered in Bungoma County to pay their final respects to the veteran radio producer. Kevogo, who died in a road accident on 14th December, was eulogized as a caring mother and a dedicated public servant.
Tulifanya kazi kwa pamoja na nilimuelewa kwamba yeye hakufanya kazi tu ili kupata mapato ya kukimu mahitaji yake ya kimsingi. La hasha. Mimi nilimuona akifanya kazi kama huduma, service to God. She worked tirelessly to serve God. Sio kupata mshahara, serving God.
I take this opportunity to convey our heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Beatrice Adamba Kevogo, who passed away on Monday, 14th December 2020 through a tragic road accident. The sad news of Adamba's demise was received by KBC community with deep sorrow and shock.
Elsewhere, a human rights organization in Garissa County has called for the decentralization of the civil registry to make the department accessible to residents. Haki na Sheria argues that thousands of residents of Garissa County are forced to travel long distances to Garissa town in search of identification documents.
And the community are very much happy and pleased with the exercise, since they were not expecting to get a birth certificate within a short period, since access to registration offices has been so much difficult for them, considering that the registration office is in Balambala, and previously they were accessing the one in Garissa.
Meanwhile, education stakeholders are calling on the government to intervene and ensure that all girls who are pregnant have gone back to school to complete their studies. The experts are warning that hundreds of young girls may fail to report to school on Monday due to teen pregnancies.
We have information that quite a good number of girls that are not going back to school. But I want to thank the government because they said that all girls must go to school. And the chiefs and the administration will report any girl that will not have gone to school. And I also want to urge the parents to allow the girls to go back. Even if a girl has given birth, it doesn't mean that it is going to be the end of the road. This girl still has an opportunity to reach to her dream.
Elsewhere, the government has been urged to double down on illegal logging and wanton destruction of Tigoni Forest in Kiambu County. Tigoni Residents Association says some unscrupulous traders have turned the forest into a charcoal burning haven, negating efforts made in combating climate change. And more than 600 widows from Homa Bay County have benefited from relief donation courtesy of a non-governmental organization known as God Will Provide. The widows received food and other basic household items to cushion them against the economic effects of COVID-19. Finally, matatu operators in Uasin Gishu County are decrying what they claim is unfair resumption of services in Eldoret town. The operators are accusing the county government of applying double standards in the designation of operating areas.
Zote zenye zinatoka Kapsabet, Eldomok, Kapenes, Kitale, wanaingia town katikati, hawa ni special sana kuliko constituency na Elgeyo Marakwet.
For Channel 1 News, I am Emily K. Bade.
Now, Charles Mwangi Kimani, who was charged with obtaining money through false pretense, has lost his freedom 7 years after he was released on bail. The court ordered Kimani to be locked up after his guarantor Kefa Ng'ang'a informed the court he was no longer willing to act as his guarantor and applied to withdraw his assets as surety. More details with Sarafina Robi.
Ningetaka kuambia koti kwamba nimechoka kumsimamia kwa ajili anakataa kuja kotini. Mimi nilikuwa nimemsimamia kwa roho mzuri.
On the 6th of December 2013, businessman James Achieng'a surrendered his assets to act as surety in securing the release of Charles Mwangi Kimani. Kimani had been charged with obtaining money through false pretense. 7 years down the line, Ng'ang'a was back in court to withdraw his assets as a surety for Kimani, who had been released on a bond of 600,000 shillings and a surety of similar amount. In seeking to withdraw his assets, Ng'ang'a argued that Kimani had a tendency to escape court hearings.
I traced him.
Sorry?
I traced him, I myself with my son.
So when was the last time the accused person attended court?
Your Honor, I'm not aware, but the last time he attended about before Corona. I think so.
Among the documents he deposited at the court was his land title deed, 2 passport photos and a copy of his national ID. In the absence of the surety to secure his release, Chief Magistrate Martha Mutuku ordered he be taken into custody.
You will remain in custody for now since you're not on any bond terms.
The case is set for mention on the 12th of January 2021. For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.
Now, the Constitution review process initiated by the Building Bridges Initiative Task Force seeks to solve the disparity in allocation of monies to counties. Article 50 of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 seeks to ensure the average amount of money allocated per person to a county with the highest allocation does not exceed 3 times the average amount per person allocated to a county with the lowest allocation. Kevin Washira has the details in our daily segment of the Constitution review.
Article 202 of the Constitution of Kenya states, revenue raised nationally shall be shared equitably among national and county governments, but 7 years of application of the article has revealed disparities in allocation per person in the county revenue sharing formula, according to the findings of the BBI task force. The proponents of the BBI, through the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020, seek to solve the disparity in county funds by amending Article 203 of the Constitution to ensure that the average amount of money allocated per person to a county with the highest allocation does not exceed 3 times the average amount per person allocated to a county with the lowest allocation. Further, the new article will raise the equitable share of revenue for counties from 15% to 35% of national revenue. The new article also seeks to enhance the criteria for determining equitable shares by recognizing the need to eradicate corrupt practices and wastage of public resources. Equitable sharing of national revenue will also put in consideration the need to ensure the attainment of the economic and social rights. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
Now, cases of the more contagious variant of COVID-19 first identified in the UK have been confirmed in several European countries as well as Canada, South Korea, India and Pakistan. This comes after Russia COVID deaths soared 3 times the official toll.
The new variant is considerably more transmissible than various strains, but not necessarily any more dangerous for those infected. Russia's Deputy Prime Minister has revealed that more deaths this year are linked to COVID-19, which means its death toll is 3 times higher than previously reported. Official figures say more than 55,000 people have died with COVID-19 in Russia. Meanwhile, Australia's Immigration Minister has said that backpackers and other foreign visitors caught flouting public health restrictions could be deported. Videos of gatherings shared on social media showed hordes of young revelers singing and dancing in breach of coronavirus regulations. Sydney is battling a new outbreak after months of no local cases. Elsewhere, legendary French fashion designer Pierre Cardin has died at the age of 98. Cardin was credited with helping revolutionize fashion with his futuristic and stylish designs in the 1950s and 60s. He was known for what were his avant-garde style and space-age designs. He preferred geometric shapes and motifs.
Now, the year 2020 was characterized by instances where the fidelity of members of parliament to their legislative mandate came under scrutiny from different fronts, from the Chief Justice advisory to the President to dissolve parliament, to the dramatic arrest of 4 senators, the dethroning of MPs deemed rebels in Jubilee Party, and the Senate having the last laugh in their supremacy battle with the National Assembly. Here is Kevin Washira with the highlights that shaped Parliament's 2020 amid the COVID-19 disruptions.
Parliament's legislative agenda was substantially disrupted upon confirmation of Kenya's first COVID-19 case. Both houses, the Senate and the National Assembly, proceeded on 1-month recess as the country applied strict protective measures. 10 months into the pandemic, Parliament has felt the pain of the virus, having lost 2 members of the National Assembly, Matungu MP Justus Murunga and Msambweni Suleiman Dori, as well as Machakos Senator Boniface Kabaka, as well as staff members. The mode of operation at the legislature changed with adoption of teleconferencing technology in committee meetings, besides a limited number of members sitting in the plenary in observance of social distance. 2020 is also the year President Uhuru Kenyatta proved he was not a lame duck, jolting the leadership of both the Senate and National Assembly for being rebellious. Majority leaders Aden Duale and Senator Kipchumba Murkomen were replaced with Amos Kemunya and Senator Samuel Pogisio, respectively.
Mr. Speaker, if the only agenda for our party, Jubilee, has been wrangles from 2018 up to now, not focusing on delivery of services. If the greatest achievement of the President of Kenya is to demonstrate to the people of this country that I have removed my majority leader, I'm a big man. Mr. Speaker, the President is already a big man. I am just but a son of a squatter, born and brought up in Embobut. To be a subject of his discussion over and over again, I want to say, Mr. President, now therefore deliver for the people of Kenya. Murkomen is out of the way. If I was your stumbling block, deliver for the people of Kenya.
Honorable Speaker, my experience as a leader of majority taught me that as one pushes the agenda of the majority party, it is almost inevitable that one will make new friends, new enemies and opponents, particularly within the party, depending on where their interests are. Interestingly, interests also keep evolving, and hence one's opponents today might be his or her friends tomorrow.
Majority whips Benjamin Washeli and Senator Susan Kihika were also de-whipped and their positions given to Emmanuel Wangwe and Senator Irungu Kangata, respectively. Committee chairpersons allied to Deputy President William Ruto in houses were also replaced with MPs allied to the handshake between the President and ODM leader Raila Odinga.
The overall objective of this reorganization of the committees is really the better performance of committees, and also to align the synergies of the members with the visions of the party leaderships.
It shall be remembered that in 2020, the Chief Justice David Maraga, on the strength of 6 petitions faulting Parliament for failing to enact laws that affect the 2/3 gender rule, advised the President to dissolve the August House. The CJ pointed out that Article 261A, read together with the 5th schedule, provides that the enactment of the 2/3 gender principle was among the things Parliament was to do within 5 years after promulgation of the Constitution in 2010. This has not happened 10 years later. 2020 was also the year the Senate took more than 7 weeks to agree on revenue sharing formula for counties, thereby starving the devolved units of cash. A proposal to allocate populous counties more funds at the expense of less populous counties elicited sharp division in the Senate, with critics saying it took funds away from poor regions and handed them to those that are economically stronger.
It will be ungodly for me, the senator for Kakamega, to take food from a hungry child of Marsabit and take it to Bungoma County. Marsabit County is going to lose 156 million, not tomorrow, today. Kilifi County, Kilifi, my brothers in Coast, you are going to lose today 153 million. When you share food, do you share food according to the number of people or the size of the dinner plate? I think we share food according to the number of people.
The stalemate was solved through allocating counties an additional 53 billion shillings. But this was preceded by the dramatic arrest and release of Senators Cleophas Malala of Kakamega, Christopher Langat of Bomet, and Stephen Lelengwe of Samburu. The government, however, denied the arrest was linked to the revenue vote. The supremacy battle between the National Assembly and the Senate that ended up in court saw the Senate emerge victorious. A 3-judge bench nullified 23 devolution laws that the National Assembly had passed without the input of the Senate. In November, President Uhuru Kenyatta made the State of Nation address at Parliament as required by the Constitution. In his speech, the President sought to reassure Kenyans that the State of Nation is strong despite the economic disruptions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mr. Speakers, I wish from the onset to assure you that the state of our nation is strong, resilient, and brimming with the promise of an even brighter tomorrow.
The head of state highlighted the progress made in the implementation of his administration's vision.
Senator Nderito John Kenywa, Laikipia County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Ongeri Samson Kegengo, Kisii County.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
The year 2020 for Parliament came to a close with the impeachment of the Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko at the Senate. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
That was Parliament in the year 2020. What does 2021 hold for us? Of course, that we'll know beginning on the 1st of January. For now, Channel 1 News Hour takes a short break, but we will be back with business news as well as sports, so stay tuned.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, Christmas imekuja mapema na quick bid. Lucky bidder ako hapa, tumpe ndugu yake.
Ndio huyu anaitwa Penua. Heshimiwa na tumemheshimu.
Karibu.
Nduti ndio hii kifungu. Shika kifungu yako boss. Ulibidaje?
Niliingia kwa site ya quickbid.co.ke. Alafu nikafuata the process.
Oh yes.
Nikabid 158 na ndio nikaweza kubai nayo hii pikipiki.
Christmas hii hakuna kutembea. Ndio huyu mheshimiwa Kate. Tufanye aje? Kalia nduti, ndio hii ni ya customer, hiyo ni yako. Sawa? Kalia nduti, chukua helmet nini yako? Valia, leta nikushikie hii. Valia. Bas, quick bit wanahakikisha pia safety. Iko on point. Haya. Kalia nduti, Kate. Si twende tushughulikie wengine. Si ndio? Twende tushughulikie wengine. Asanteni sana.
Jiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16, kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
When it comes to weddings, you want something that you know most people are gonna like. Gets everyone sufficiently drunk, no fights between the families. Can I see the ring? Oh my God. What? Wow, that's beautiful. That's great. What'd you do wrong? Really? Oh no! You're gonna get me fired! Chris is here.
Oh, I can't wait to meet him.
If I introduce you, don't say anything stupid or mean. Everybody!
Pleasure, yeah. I've heard a lot of great things about you, and we're excited to have you. Really? Good. Yeah. Yeah. I can interest you guys in a hike. Will it offend you at all if I say no? Absolutely not. No way that I'm not going. How about you? You want to go?
Let's go swimming. Why not? Let's go. I'm gonna go in. Last chance. Come on.
Hey babe, if we want to get married,
Which we do.
I would love to reopen the floor for that conversation.
I don't think that this is working, and I think 8 months is enough time to know whether something's gonna work.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. The problem with heartbreak is that to you, it's like an atomic bomb, and to the world, it's just really cliche because in the end, we all have the same experience.
2021 is in the offing, and KBC Channel 1 comes with good tidings for the new year. As we appreciate you and decide to put a big smile on your face with a New Year's gift. To participate, answer a simple question and send a short message as many times as possible. And you stand a chance to win 10,000 Kenya shillings as we usher in the new year. Send us the list of programs that air between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday on KBC Channel 1. Send a short message to 0771 702 816 as many times as possible to stand a chance to win. Happy New Year from KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. It's now time for business news. And sugarcane farmers are crying foul over the importation of 20,000 metric tons of sugar by the government. According to the Smallholder Sugarcane Farmers Association of Kenya, the move will crowd the market at the expense of the local sugar industry players whose hard-earned investment is staring at losses. This comes at a time when Kenya is struggling to improve output due to relatively high production costs and loss-making sugar factories which produce 600,000 metric tons of sugar a year, which is below the annual consumption of 800,000 tons.
In efforts geared at averting a sugar glut occasioned by this increased importation and an eventful collapse of the industry, the Ministry of Agriculture in July 2020 introduced a myriad of measures, including the suspension of all brown sugar imports and the suspension of pre-shipment approvals, as well as extensions of all sugar import permits. However, cheap sugar imports are still finding their way into the market.
Sisi kama wakulima wa regioni hii tumelalamika sana kwa serikali kuruhusu sukari kuletwa kutoka nchi jirani ya Uganda. Tumejua kwamba wameshapeana jumla ama idadi ya 20,000 metric tons ambayo ita affect yule mkulima wa chini, yule mkulima wa kawaida. Hapa kwetu Kenya tumekuwa na miwa ambayo imeovergrow, haijafestiwa for the last 30 months, na bado tunashangaa kama serikali yetu kuu inapeana license ya kuleta sukari kutoka nchi jirani ya Uganda.
Driven by below par local production that stands at 600,000 metric tons a year, below the annual consumption of 800,000 tons.
We know the Sugar Directorate is now sitting in Nairobi with civil servants and the Minister of Agriculture, and they are just looking at the importation of sugar. The Directorate is not talking on behalf of farmers. We want the Sugar Board, which will have farmer representatives from the ground. And when they are sitting in the Sugar Board in Nairobi, they will be thinking back home of their farmers. They will not allow what is happening now with the Sugar Directorate. So we want the sugar bill, which was sponsored by Wamunyinyi, to be passed in Parliament.
Representatives of the sugarcane farmers blame the government over importation of 20,000 metric tons of sugar, saying it will negatively affect the smallholder farmers. The cane farmers have threatened to hold protests in light of the current developments within the sugar industry.
Sisi hatuna pesa ya kupeleka watoto wetu shule. Tunashangaa kwa sababu mwaka ujao sukari itateremuka, itakuwa chini ya bei ile tunatarajia kawaida. Tunajua itakuwa ni furaha ya millers kusikia sukari imeimportiwa, watateremusha bei kuanzia next week. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wakulima tutalalamika, hatuwezi kubaliana na hayo.
This comes in the wake of a grant of a 2-year extension on sugar import limits from Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa COMESA for Kenya that Kenya had sought to revamp its ailing industry. The arrangement limiting imports was due to expire at the end of next year, February. However, Kenya requested a 2-year extension, saying increased imports could smoother its sugar business, which is not competitive and has several loss-making millers struggling to stay afloat. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And in sports, Kenya is set to remain compliant with the 2021 World Anti-Doping Agency Code after the Senate unanimously voted to pass the Anti-Doping Amendment Bill of 2020 that paves way for the enhanced action for clean sport.
Kenya enacted its first anti-doping legislation in 2016 when faced with the risk of missing the Rio Olympics for non-compliance with the legal code of the World Anti-Doping Agency. The amendment bill passed by the Senate seeks to entrench changes in the revised WADA code that will come into force on 1st January 2021. Among key changes are enhanced education, the establishment of a results management panel, and the obligations of federations, athletes and athlete support personnel.
Now, these standards are meant to protect both the sport, the athletes, the nations, and the people. And you know, because of the mutability, these things do change. And when we look at the stimulants, narcotics, cannabinoids, and corticoids, these are steroids. These are drug-enhancing performing drugs that athletes take to enhance their performance.
With the bill having been passed by both houses, it awaits assent by President Uhuru Kenyatta before coming into force from the 1st of January 2021.
And now Kenyan Premier League side Kakamega Homeboys have unveiled Mozart Bet as their new shirt sponsor. The sponsorship deal, which will run for the next 1 year, is worth 20 million shillings. Kakamega Homeboys chairman Cleophas Shimanyula says the money will solely be channeled towards improving the welfare of the playing unit. Shimanyula expressed confidence that the team will get their rhythm back after a poor start to the season, which he attributed to injuries. Mozart Bet were the official shirt sponsor for the 2008 league champions Mathare United last season.
Mozart Bet wamekuja, county government imekuja, players ndio mnatulet down. Na sita waficha, players mnalet down zaidi. Tulipigwa na butwa kubwa zaidi, tulipata injuries na tukapata wachezaji 8 na corona.
And now Kiwawa Football Club were crowned the winners of this year's Kacheliba CDF tournament played at Chelopoi Primary School grounds in Pokot North. Meanwhile, Kiwawa also emerged victorious in volleyball after trouncing Alale by 3 straight sets.
Kiwawa Football Club reached for position to back the title with 7 points. Kodich FC, Alale, Suwam, Kasei and Kapchok FC completed the top 6 teams in the tournament. The rankings were awarded as per the number of goals scored and conceded throughout the tournament. Elsewhere, Sigor FC thrashed Kacheliba FC 4-1 through post-match penalties in a friendly match played at Chelopoi Primary School grounds in Pokot North. In volleyball, Kiwawa backed the title after trouncing Alale by 3 straight sets.
Kitu ya maana sana katika hii michezo tunajaribu kama kusiwezi kukusa talanta ya vijana ambaye saa hii vijana wengi wako nyumbani na vijana wengi za zingine wamemaliza class 8, wengine wamemaliza form 4, wengine pia wamemaliza university na wana kazi, na katika hii michezo tunajaribu kukusa hawa katika mawaidha.
The teams that took part in the tournament were drawn from different areas within Kacheliba constituency. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sports.
Very well, it's time for us to wrap up Channel 1 News Hour. As always, thank you, Kenya, for watching. We appreciate your feedback and every time you let us know where you're watching us from. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Achieng'a. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Susan Dhuku. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing, but up next, let's find out how your weather looks like tomorrow with Yusuf Farah. Good night and God bless.
Tonight, the highlands west of the Rift Valley region will be having rainfall with dry weather conditions dominating the rest of the country. Temperatures are dropping to 11 degrees Celsius in Nyeri, making it the coldest in the country. Good evening. My name is Yusuf Farah. Many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Time now for your Channel 1 with the updates. Tomorrow morning, sunny intervals dominate most parts of the country from areas of Mandera and Garissa. Areas of Wajir will be having partly cloudy conditions with sunny intervals. The areas of the coastal region, Mombasa, Malindi and Kilifi, will be having sunny intervals in the morning. So it's a good chance for the area's residents to go for a swim or a walk by the beach. For Kisumu, Kitale and Kisii, there will be sunny intervals and the same will be experienced in areas of Lodo and the Lake Turkana Basin. Let's now take a look at the afternoon. Kisii will be having showers accompanied by thunderstorms. Nyeri and Meru will be having showers accompanied by sunny intervals, and the same will be experienced in areas of Mombasa, Malindi and Lamu. The northeastern region will be having partly cloudy conditions with sunny intervals. Lake Turkana Basin, sunny intervals, and the same in areas bordering Kenya and southern Sudan. As far as the temperatures are concerned, highs of 36 in Lodwar and lows of 25, highs of 28 in Marsabit, lows of 18, and Nairobi, highs of 28 and lows of 12. That wraps up your local weather forecast. Again, many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. I will be seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, have yourselves a lovely night.
Vera Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 227428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706